Hi students, today I will give you a brief idea about the classification of polymer. Polymer is included in the module 4 of chemistry syllabus, and chemistry is included in the first year BTech course. The code for the chemistry is either CH101 for odd semester or CH201 for even semester. Myself, Tanmoy Dotto, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, JS College of Engineering, Kollani, welcome you all in the class of Polymer first lecture. Today, we'll discuss about the basic concept of the polymer, and obviously first one is the basic concept of the polymer, and second is the classification of the polymer. Okay, so there are different types of polymer present depending on the different way of classification. That means there are different way or different concept or different angle by which we can classify the polymer. So we'll discuss all these things, all the classification with a specific example. But before that, we have to know that what is actually polymer. Polymer is important for each and every day life. In the morning, starting from the morning, if you think about what we are using, maximum things are made by the polymer. And gradually, our motto is that gradually we are trying to replace the metals by the polymer. So, what is the polymer, or how we can define the polymer? Define the polymer in this way, that polymers are the long chain organic molecules are assembled from many smaller molecules. That means if there is such kind of smaller molecules like that, when they combined with each other, then they form polymer. Do you know what is the meaning of mar? Mar means the meaning of the mar. Mar means it is the unit. Okay, so mar means it is the unit. So what is the poly? Poly means it is the many. Okay, so poly means it is the many. So when many unit combine together to give a to form a long chain, then this is called the polymer. That means small, very very small units, they combine with each other to give a big molecules. Then this is called the polymers. Then structural features of the polymers or the macromolecules. Look here. If you look here, there are some particular features of the polymer. Okay, so what are the features? The features are that if there is any small compound, what I told you, that poly means unit and poly means many and units means mar. Okay, so if you think about this specific example, that if you take the styrene, okay, this is the example of the styrene. Okay, this is a compound styrene. So if you apply certain condition such that so many styrene compounds can be added with each other to form a big molecules or big chain molecules, then what we will get, this is called the polystyrene. That means if you see the example, it is a styrene, and if you apply the heat or the light or catalyst, then their polymerization occur. Polymerization occur means, so there is the double bond, this double bond actually break down and it form the two bonds with the both the sides. That means if there is the bond like the CH2 and CH2, so the middle bond will break down and the side by side styrene molecule come with each other to form the bonds with the both the side. That means one bond will break down and both side there bond will form. That means n number of styrene molecules form, or n number of styrene molecule attach with each other to give the polystyrene. Okay, So in this way we can define the polymers, that there are very small units in a certain condition. If the small units are combined with each other, then what is produced? This will be called the polymer. Now n is the any number, n number of styrene or n number of molecules, then n maybe it may vary, that polymers of the polymers have the particular molecular weight in the range of 1000 to 2000. Okay, so this is the average range of the molecular weight and commonly called low polymers, and those having the molecular weight greater than 20,000. 1000 to 20,000 is the weight, general weight range of the polymer. If any polymer has the molecular weight greater than 20,000, then it will be called the high polymers. Okay, now come to the point that how we can classify the polymer. Okay, how is it is possible to classify the polymer? So we can classify the polymer depending on the, first of all, origin. Here you will see this classification depending on the different angle. Different angle means if we consider the origin, like from where we are getting the polymer, then there will be certain types of classification. If we think about the structure of the polymer, then we will get some another kinds of classification. So you have to keep in mind, depending on which factor we are classifying the polymer. So first of all, depending on the origin, okay, on the basis of the origin. So on the basis of the origin, there are three types of polymer mainly. First of all, natural polymer. Second one is the semi-synthetic polymer, and third one is the synthetic polymer. So what is the natural polymer? Natural polymer means that polymers of which is obtained from the nature. Okay, nature means which is produced in the nature. Okay, and are on one side the natural polymers, it is called the natural polymers. This includes like starting from the protein, starting from the nucleic acid, like starting from the enzymes, like polysaccharides also. Okay, so natural rubber, natural gums, natural silk, and other natural fibers. Actually the nucleic acid is not included. So these are all are called, like cotton also, these all are called actually natural polymer. Okay, so these type of examples are included in the case of the natural polymer. So natural polymer means simply which is produced by in the nature or which is produced naturally. This will be called the your natural polymer. Second thing is that semi-synthetic polymer. What is the semi-synthetic polymer? Semi-synthetic polymer is before going to the discussion about the semi-synthetic polymer, at first come to the synthetic polymer. What is the synthetic polymer? Synthetic polymers are totally man-made polymer. What is the man-made polymer? That means, you know, there are some drawbacks of the natural polymer. What is the drawback? So if you think about that natural rubber has a particular limitation. That means we can't do all the things with the natural rubber. That means all the other natural polymer, if there is some kinds of limitation, then what we have to think about some kind of synthetic polymer which will serve our purpose. That means synthetic polymer can do this work, but maybe this kind of work is not possible by the natural polymer. So in this way, there in the laboratory we can also make the polymer. Okay, that is, or this is called the synthetic polymer. Which polymers are synthesized in the laboratory, these types of polymers are called actually synthetic polymer or the man-made polymer. Examples are there, so many examples each and every day from morning to night we are using. They're starting from the polyethylene, polypropylene, polyester, nylon 66. There so many examples are included in the bakelite. That all are the synthetic polymer which is produced or which is synthesized in the laboratory or artificially. Okay, in the laboratory they are artificially there. We synthesized actually we synthesize this kind of polymer. So these types of polymer are synthetic polymer. So one is the natural polymer. In one hand this is the natural polymer, in other hand this is the synthetic polymer. In between these two, like a natural polymer and synthetic polymer, there is another kind of polymer. This is called the semi-synthetic polymer. Semi-synthetic polymer means it is in between the natural polymer and the synthetic polymer. That means semi-synthetic polymers are such kind of polymers which is produced after certain modification of the natural polymer. Like the natural polymer lack of some kind of property, any kind of property. Like if you think about the natural rubber. So natural rubber is not such kind of elastic of what we want. So what we can do? We can increase the strength of the natural rubber such that it can serve our purpose. So that means we will mix some kinds of chemicals or we can modify the chain or the structure of the natural polymer by which it can be it will be able to serve our purpose. Okay, so this type of polymers are called semi-synthetic, which are not 100% synthesized in the laboratory, but this type of polymers are modified from the natural polymer. Okay, these are the modified natural polymers. This type of polymers are called actually semi-synthetic polymer. For example, cellulose ester, cellulose ethers, vulcanized rubber. Vulcanized natural rubber is very important. We will discuss also what is the vulcanized natural rubber. So this type of polymers are included in the category of the semi-synthetic polymer. And these three types of polymer included in the category of the on the basis of origin. We can classify the polymer in the three categories: natural polymer, semi-synthetic polymer, and the synthetic polymer. Come to the next types of classification. If we consider the next type of classification, then we will see that structure of the polymer. Depending on the structure of the polymer, you can see there are also three types of polymer. So first one is the linear polymer. Okay, so first one is the linear polymer. What is the linear polymer? Linear polymer means the monomers are linked together to form a linear chain. Where it is formed a linear chain, this is called the linear polymer. The van der Waals interaction takes place between the linear chains. Okay, a common example is high density polyethylene. That means the short form is this HDPE, high density polyethylene. This we will discuss later. Okay, and nylons, etc. Okay, so what is the natural linear polymer? The general or the chains will be, it will be linear pattern. This will be called the linear polymer. Okay, so then next one is the linear polymer. Almost looks like this is the linear polymer. Look here. So there is no branches are there for the polymers. They're connected with a single chain. Okay, these are called actually a linear polymer. Like if you the HDP, high density polyethylene, you know polyethylene, it looks like this CH2, like there is no branch chain. So if it is long chain like this, this will be the linear polymer. Now there is a second case is that a branched chain or the branched polymer. So if you think about the branched polymer, then you will see that a polymer that includes the side chains of the repeat units connecting onto the main chain of repeat units, that means different side there will be different chain already present. For example, glycogen, and it is the figure of the branched polymer, that look here, that here you can see that there each and every chain there are some branch chains are also available for each and every chain. So this is called actually branched polymer. Okay, so if there is branched present, so it is called the branched polymer. So glycogen is the example of such kind of polymer. Then another polymer, and it is very, very important, that is called the cross-linked polymer. Now what is the cross-linked polymer? So here look, cross-linked polymer means there the branched are interconnected with each other. Each and every chain they are interconnected with each other, and it form a 3D like structure. Okay, so these types of polymer are generally very, very high strength and generally, so this type of polymers normally it is called the 3D polymer, or as this type of polymers are connected with each other, each and every chains are connected with each other. So this is called the cross-linked polymer. Now come to the point that in case of cross-linked polymer, after polymerization, these polymers in which monomer units are cross-linked, generally monomer units are cross-linked together to form a 3-dimensional network. Keep in mind, okay, what I told you, that generally they are 3-dimensional network, and they are very hard, they are very rigid, they are very brittle because of the network structure. For example, the common example is the bakelite. You know that bakelite is used in the switchboard, all of you know very well. So these kind of polymers are used in the cross-linked polymer. So come to the next point, that in case of cross-linked polymer also, that these 3 kinds of polymer are very, very important. All the polymers are very, very important for these kinds of things. Okay, so you have to keep in mind that depending on the structure, depending on its structure, we can classify the polymer in the 3 ways. First one is the linear, there is no chain. Second one is the branch, and the third one is the cross-linked polymer. Now come to the next category. Okay, this is the third category, classification based on the types of monomer. Okay, so this is the next category. So if you think about the types of monomer, first one is the homopolymer. Okay, and the second one is the copolymer. Now what is the homopolymer? Homopolymer means, here you have to understand that homo means same type. So homopolymer means here the monomers, what is the monomer? Monomer means if n number of A connected to form that A like that, n number of chains, then it is called the this A is called the monomer, and after formation this is called the polymer. So now look here, that if a homopolymer means here monomers will be same type, like the monomer will be one compound, that there will be a repetition of the monomer again and again and again. Like here A is the monomer, and A is repeating gradually one by one after. So this type of polymers are called actually homopolymer. For example, if you think about the ethylene, look here, if you form the polyethylene, there will be a repetition of the ethylene again and again, then this is called the polyethylene. So in this way you can get the polyethylene. Now if you think about the copolymer, then monomers will be different. Okay, there will be no single monomer is present here. Okay, that means if there is more than one monomer, like if there is A and B, okay, the 2 monomers are present, one is the A and there is the B, and they are repeated one by one. So this type of polymers are called actually copolymer. Okay, so that means when monomers are not the same type, then what polymer we will get? This polymer will be copolymer. Now this copolymer, that means if it is the AB, there are so many chances, so many types of connectivity, like it may be AB like that. it may be A, then again B, then again B, in this way. So there are so many types of connectivity is possible for the copolymer, and depending on these different kinds of connectivity, we can classify the copolymer in the four ways. Okay, so there are different types of copolymer present here. So first one, look here. So first one is the random copolymer. Okay, so what is the random copolymer? If you think about the random copolymer, look here, that they're randomly connected. Okay, there is no particular, so black one is one kind of monomer and the white one is the another kind of monomer. So look here that they're randomly connected with each other. Okay, so there is no particular sequence is maintained by the monomer, and that's why it is called the random copolymer. What is the alternating copolymer? Alternating copolymer means the monomers, they maintain a particular sequence one after another. That means if black one is the one type of monomer and white one is the another type of monomer, then look here that one after another they connect with each other. One after another they connect with each other. Okay, so that means that in alternating manner they are connected with each other, and that's why they are called actually alternating copolymer. Then next, what is the block copolymer? Okay, so block copolymer means, you know, that in our society or in our town there is an the number of the houses will be like A block, B block, C block, in this manner. So what is the meaning of this? The block means there will be same type. Okay, so look here, if white one is one type of monomer, then white one is connected in same area, then again black one, then again white one. That means there are three block copolymer means they are connected in one after another. There will be one type of monomer, then again after connectivity of the one type of monomer, then again another type of monomers are connected, started to connect, then in this manner they continue the chain. Okay, so this is called the block copolymer. Next one is the graft copolymer or graft copolymer. So if you think about the graft copolymer, then look here, the main chain is made by one type of polymer. The main chain is made by one type of polymer and the another chain is made by another type of polymer. So this type of copolymer is called actually graft copolymer. That means if the main chain is one type of polymer and the side chains are another type of polymer, this type of copolymers are called actually graft copolymer. So this classification depends on the your types of monomer. That means either the monomers are same, then it is called the homopolymer, and if the monomers are different, it is called the copolymer. Now come to the process. Depending on the thermal response, okay, thermal response means if we apply the heat on the polymer, then what will be the response to the polymer? Depending on this fact or this factor, we can classify the polymer in the two ways. First one is the thermoplastic and second one is the thermosetting or thermoset. So you have to understand properly what is the thermoplastic polymer and what is the thermosetting polymer. Thermoplastic polymer means it is a plastic materials which can be repeatedly melted and molded again and again by simple heating. That means in case of thermoplastic polymer, if we give the heat, then it will be melted and it will be again come back to its original shape if we remove the heat. When it will be possible? It will be possible only the inner, if after the application of the heat, if the inner structure will not break down, then only it will be possible. That means we are applying the heat, but there different forces will be changes, but not permanent breakup of the bonds will occur. Then only it is possible that if we remove the heat, we can again get the same kind of structure or same kinds of materials. There will not be any permanent shape change or permanent change of the polymer. This kind of polymers are called thermoplastic polymer. Examples are like polystyrene, polyphenol PVC, polyphenol chloride, polypropylene, etc. etc. These all are the examples of the thermoplastic polymer. Now another kind, this is the thermosetting polymer. What is a thermosetting polymer? Thermosetting polymer means it is generally this kind of polymers are very high strength, okay, very hard. So what happen if we apply the heat on this kind of polymer, then what happen? The inner structure will be changed. The bonds are break down permanently. So what happen after this? So if we remove the heat, then the polymer will not come back to its original structure or original shape or original the polymer which was before application of the heat will not get back that exact polymer. So these kind of polymers are called the thermosetting polymer. Setting means you can imagine in this way that if you apply the water in the cement and if you wait for a few hours, okay, then what happen? It will be set, okay. So that means will not get the cement back after one day. So in the same way, thermoset polymer, if we apply the heat on the thermoset polymer, then it is not possible to recover exactly this polymer after or by removing the heat or temperature. For example, bakelite is the one example of the thermosetting plastic or thermosetting polymer. So bakelite is the one example of the thermosetting polymer. Now come to the point that what are the differences between thermoplastic polymer and the thermosetting polymer. So first of all, the polymer chains held together here in the first case like thermoplastic, the polymer chain held together by a weak force called a van der Waals force or van der Waals force of attraction. But in case of thermosetting polymer, the polymer chains are linked by the strong chemical bond, that means covalent bond. So in case of thermosetting polymer, the polymer chains are linked with a particular bond. This bond is called the covalent bond. But in case of thermoplastic polymer, the polymer chains are not attached by any particular bond. It is held by the van der Waals force. Generally, thermoplastic polymers are soluble in organic solvent, but thermoplastic polymers are insoluble in the organic solvent. And thermoplastic polymers expand very much on heating, okay, because there is some elastic nature, okay. So they expand very much during the heating, but thermoset polymer, their expansion is only marginal due to heat. So okay, they will not expand so much like the thermoplastic polymer. In case of thermoplastic polymer, they are formed by the addition polymerization. So thermoplastic polymers, they are formed by the, and generally I will obviously discuss with you that what is the addition polymerization and what is the condensation polymerization. I will show you, but at this moment just keep in mind or try to understand that there are two different process. One process is the addition polymerization, another process is the condensation polymerization. So thermoplastic polymer is formed by the addition polymerization and thermosetting polymer is formed by the condensation polymerization. Thermoplastic polymer are processed by the injection of molding, and they are processed by the compressing of moldings. Okay, so few examples are also there, like in case of thermoplastic polymer, the examples are the like polyethylene, PVC, that is a polyvinyl chloride, nylon, etc. etc. But thermosetting polymers are the bakelite. Okay, bakelite is the common example, you know. So this kind of polymers are the included in the category of the thermosetting polymer. So what you have to do, students, so you have to prepare a tabular form, like if you write down the classification, if you write down the classification, then you have to make a tabular form. Tabular form means like you have to make a chart, like here. First of all, there are three types of polymer you can write down, that depending on the origin. First of all, depending on the origin, and then depending on the structure, then depending on the structure, then depending on the monomer, and then depending on the its thermal response. Okay, thermal response. So by this way you have to make the classification. Okay, so there are actually 4 classification, so you have to make, there are 4 tables. Okay, four charts, then each and every case you have to again classify, either it is 2 or 3, whatever, you have to write down again the each and every classification with specific example. Okay, with specific example you have to mention all these things. Okay, so in this way you have to keep in mind all the facts. Okay, that how we can classify, because there will be when we will finish the chapter, then you will understand that there are so many types of classifications available in the polymer, and the major part of the polymer chapter that is covered by the classification of the polymers. So for the best process by which you can remember the overall classification of the process, the best process, best step is that just make a this kind of classification chart. Okay, so then at a glance, when the chapter will be completed, at a glance you can recollect, you can remember that what is the classification and what is its corresponding examples. Okay, so in this way you can keep in mind all these things. So today what we discussed till now, we discussed first of all we discussed about So first of all, we discussed about the what is the polymer. We discussed about the how polymer is formed actually, or what is the meaning of the polymer. Then we discussed about the how we can classify the polymer depending on the origin. There are 3 types of polymer: natural, semi-synthetic, and the synthetic polymer. And then we discussed about the structure of the polymer, and here we discussed about that the 3 types of polymer possible depending on the structure, like it may be linear, it may be branched, it may be cross-linked. In this way we can classify the polymers depending on the structure. Then there is a major classification depending on the types of monomer, like if the monomers are same, then we can call it the homopolymer. If the monomers are different, then we can call it the copolymer. So monomer and copolymers are also very much important, and copolymers again it is classified in the different ways, like there are 4 types of copolymers are also available depending on the attachment of the monomer one by one. We can classify the monomers are 4 types. Okay, the copolymers are 4 types, and then after that we classify the polymers depending on the thermal response, and depending on the thermal response again we can classify the polymers like thermoplastic and the thermosetting. You know, thermoplastic polymers, it is the polymer which we can again get back after the application of the heat and removing the heat, but it is not applicable for the thermosetting polymer. Thermosetting polymer means it is the fixed structure. Then we discuss about the difference. It is also very much important, you have to keep in mind, it is very much important, because thermoplastic polymers and thermosetting polymers you have to differentiate properly with the proper examples and with the proper points. Okay, and that's all for today. And in the next class we'll meet with you in the with the next type of classification of the polymer, and with some few specific detailed discussion of the specific types of polymers also. Thank you. Thanks a lot for attending my class. Goodbye. Take care.